This guy just tried to assassinate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He started walking up to RFK during a speech while carrying 2 fully loaded guns. And here is what's crazy about this. RFK is running for president, and every other presidential candidate in history has been given Secret Service protection, except for RFK Jr. In fact, RFK asked Biden for the protection, but America's genius leader decided he didn't need it. So instead, RFK uses hundreds of thousands of dollars of his own money to protect himself from crazy people like this.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some major news as RFK is shaking things up in the Democratic primary by essentially dropping out, right? He's dropping out of the Democrat primary because he is going to run as an independent, allegedly. Okay, he's supposed to announce on October 9th in Pennsylvania that he's going to run as an independent. Now, I'm going to read a little bit here about why this is happening. And then we're going to go ahead and get into Robert F. Kennedy's video of him basically hyping up his announcement. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about what this means. Because in my opinion, I think that this is a devastating blow to Biden and to non-Trump GOP candidates. And I'll tell you guys why after we get into this. So without further ado, let's read here. 2024 presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plans to announce he will run as independent on October 9th in Pennsylvania, Mediaite has learned. Kennedy's campaign machine is now planning, quote, attack ads against the Democratic National Committee in order to pave the way for his announcement in Philadelphia about running as an independent, according to a text reviewed by Mediaite. Quote, Bobby feels that the DNC is changing the rules to exclude his candidacy, so an independent run is the way to go, a Kennedy campaign insider told Mediaite. Kennedy, a notorious anti-vaccine conspiracy theorist challenging incumbent President Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination, has been flirting with a third-party run in recent weeks. The New York Times reported last week that he met with the chair of the Libertarian Party, raising the prospect of a departure from the party that decades ago became synonymous with his family name. Kennedy remains far behind Biden in the polls, yet while the Times reported, quote, Democrats worry that a third-party run by Mr. Kennedy could draw votes away from Mr. Biden and help elect former President Donald J. Trump, it's unclear whether such a run would hurt the current president more than the Republican nominee. Yeah, so with that being said, this is big news, okay? Robert F. Kennedy has now become an opponent of Joe Biden and Trump. And I will say this about Mr. Kennedy before we get into this, that you should not underestimate your opponent, okay? That is a bad habit that some of us have, underestimating our opponent. And if you do have this bad habit, then you should probably break that bad habit, okay? Along with other bad habits as well, too. Cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's better ways to break your bad habits, and that is by creating good habits. And no, I'm not talking about just remembering to fix your bed in the morning after you wake up or to brush your teeth. I'm talking about the sponsor of this video, Fume, and they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong, so instead of drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, foam is completely natural. Instead of vapor, foam uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, foam uses cores that have an explosion of all natural flavors. You guys get it. Instead of bad, foam is good. It is a habit that you're free to enjoy and makes breaking your bad habit easy. Your foam comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting and giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your bad habit. Now, I briefly mentioned to you guys that Foam's new cores have an explosion of flavors. My personal favorite is the crisp mint because it's like a breath of fresh air when I'm just trying to relax. Stopping is something that we've all put off because we know that it's hard. However, Foam is fun, easy, and enjoyable. Foam has served over 100,000 customers and has had thousands of success stories, and there's no reason why one of those success stories can't be you. Join Foom in accelerating humanity's breakup from bad habits by grabbing a journey pack today. Head to tryfoom.com/blackconservative or scan the QR code and use the code blackconservative to get 10% off when you try the journey pack today. That's tryfum.com and use the code blackconservative to get 10% off on your order today.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be in Philadelphia on October 9th to make a major announcement at the very birthplace of our nation. I'm not going to tell you right now exactly what that announcement will be. I can say, though, that if you've been waiting to come to one of my public events, this will be the one to come to. I'll be speaking about a sea change in American politics and what your part and my part is in that change. A lot of Americans who had previously given up any hope that real change would ever come through the American electoral process have begun to find new hope in my candidacy. And I understand the deeply felt concern that people have about the way corruption has overtaken our government. It's in the executive branch, it's in Congress, it's in the leadership of both political parties. And so some people feel a kind of cynicism alongside the hope, or they lose hope entirely because they've been disappointed so many times. I want to tell you now what I've come to understand after 6 months of campaigning. There is a path to victory. The hope we are feeling isn't some kind of trick of the mind. We all recognize that there's a genuine possibility of national transformation, and its source is the goodness of the American people. Our government may be crooked, but our people are kind, brave, and caring. That goodness is stronger than the divisions that are keeping us all apart. I see it every day on the campaign trail, and the more I see it, the more I trust it. And the more I trust it, the more the path to victory becomes visible. So how are we going to win against the established Washington interests? It's not through playing the game by the corrupt rules that the corrupt powers and the vested interests have rigged to keep us all in their thrall. Instead, we're going to have to rewrite the assumptions and change the habits of American politics. We're going to tap into a mighty surge of people power to reclaim an honest, peaceful, just, and prosperous America. So I am inviting you to join me in Philadelphia on October 9th. There I'll share with you our path to the White House and how we can all participate in healing our nation.
Yeah, so you've seen that, you heard that, okay? Now, a lot of people are getting Ross Perot vibes from Kennedy's announcement because if you guys remember Ross Perot, he spoiled the party for George Bush versus Clinton, okay, in 1992 when he received 18.9% of the popular vote, okay, even though he had no electoral college votes, he did take a substantial amount of votes away from the Republicans, okay, and that allowed Bill Clinton to win. And that is something that I'm seeing a lot of conservatives who support Trump being worried about, right? They're worried that RFK may take away votes from Trump and allow Biden to win. Now, I want to give my opinion on this because I actually don't believe that is the case. I actually believe that RFK running as an independent actually hurts Biden more than it hurts Trump. Now, in regards to how that plays out in the electoral college, it is really hard to say, right? It's impossible to say, especially in some of these swing states. But I do think that we can have some idea in regards to how this might affect the national level vote. And the reason why I'm making that statement is pretty simple. The main reason why I think it hurts Biden more than Trump is because Trump has an actual base. He has a core base of voters who are never, ever, 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 ever going to vote for anybody else except Trump. Doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter if he gets locked up. Okay, none of that matters. Now, the problem with Trump is that Trump is a wild card, and it's really hard to say how anything will really affect him in 2024 because of the indictments and the fact that it is possible. I think it's a slim chance, but it's a chance that Trump could actually be in jail. Okay, he can be in jail or he can be taken off ballots for whatever reason. And then at that point, again, that would really muddy the waters, right? But my analysis here is assuming that Trump's not in jail, but assuming he does get convicted of something, but he's just not in jail yet, because I think that those are two different things. I think there's a difference between seeing somebody be convicted and then actually seeing them in jail, right? But again, we really don't know how that's going to affect him until that happens, okay? But up until this point, there's no reason to suggest that it's actually going to affect Trump negatively, but still, it's a possibility. Anyways, my analysis is assuming that Trump is not in jail, right? If that's the case and Trump is able to freely campaign, I think personally that this is going to hurt Biden more than Trump, because Biden does not have the same base of support that Trump does. Okay. In a nutshell, right? RFK is in the middle. Okay. He's essentially a centrist, but he's kind of an anti-establishment centrist. Okay. But he's also, again, a Democrat. He's also progressive on, a lot of issues as well, too. He's also pro-choice. He got some issues when it comes to the Second Amendment and his stance on that. But again, he is a sane Democrat who is anti-establishment. Again, he's a Kennedy, right? He's a Kennedy. And there's a strong affinity in the Democrat Party, especially among older Democrats, for the Kennedy name. Okay. And again, Biden does not have that strong base of supporters, especially considering how the economy is in terrible shape. Most of Biden's momentum in 2020 was the anti-Trump vote, right? And whatever else may have been going on in that election, okay, outside of that. But I'm just saying, it was the anti-Trump vote. He's not going to have that same advantage. He does not have anybody that's enthusiastically that's going to come out here and say, I'm voting for Biden no matter what, except black women, right? But there are a lot of people who are going to sit out. They're going to say, I'm not going to vote because even though I don't like Trump, I don't like the state of the economy. I don't want to vote for Biden either. I'm not motivated to go out and vote for Biden. Okay. I think there's a lot of people who would sit on the sidelines and say, you know what? I'm not going to vote for Trump. Biden has not inspired me to vote for him. If Trump wins, it's probably not the end of the world. So therefore, I'm just going to sit it out. I do believe there's a lot of people out there like that. And those people will either sit it out, or if they don't sit it out, now they have somebody to vote for, and that will be RFK. Okay, I think that is who he's going to pull the most. Now, that is not to say that RFK won't pull some people from the right. In fact, I will go as far as to say that this guarantees that nobody in the Republican Party outside of Trump can actually win the general election with RFK in as an independent. And let me explain to you why. Trump, the reason why his base is so large is because Trump bought over a lot of Democrat voters in 2016, okay? Specifically in the Rust Belt states, okay, in the Midwest. Trump bought over a lot of those blue-collar Democrats into the MAGA movement, okay? That is the reason why he won, right? Because he won the Rust Belt. Now, again, you see Trump hanging out with the unions and stuff like that. Well, the reason why is because he wants to get those voters back. He knows that those voters are the key to his victory. Okay, so you got to understand, Trump's base is so large because not only does he have traditional conservatives, he has former Democrats who are probably closer to the middle as a part of the MAGA base as well. So his base is larger than most of these other Republican candidates. If Trump is out of the race for whatever reason, and let's just say you have a Ron DeSantis, those Trumper former Democrats are definitely going to vote for RFK before they vote for somebody like DeSantis, right? They're not going to vote for a traditional conservative candidate. That's one of the reasons why they like Trump, is because Trump is not a traditional conservative, okay? I'm not saying Trump's not a conservative. I think he is. He's just not a traditional conservative. He's a new populist conservative, okay? And those are basically former Democrats. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100, okay? There are former Democrats who are in the party who, again, don't mind that Trump is not advocating for a federal ban on abortion, right? They're just like, okay, well, I'm totally fine with that, okay? Again, you lose those people if Trump is not the guy, right? If Trump is not the guy, the Republican Party dies, okay? That's basically what happens, okay? Especially with RFK in the race, because now it guarantees that, okay, well, RFK will get those votes. Trump is the only person that can actually hold on to those people that otherwise would vote for RFK before they vote for a Ron DeSantis or a Tim Scott or any other GOP candidate you want to name. So with that being said, in a scenario where Trump holds most of his support, and again, some of those people that are Trump supporters still will peel off and vote for RFK, but I think there's going to be more Democrats that are going to peel off from Biden than Trump supporters peeling off from Trump. And then you have the question of the Never Trumpers. Well, the Never Trumpers weren't going to vote for Trump anyways, right? The Never Trumpers, they probably wasn't going to vote at all, okay? Some of them might vote for Biden. So I don't think that the Never Trump vote really matters here when it comes to RFK. And if it does, it's actually a good thing because the Never Trump vote would either sit out or vote for Biden. The people who would vote for Biden just because they don't want to see Trump win, probably now would vote for RFK. So if anything, this may take away votes, again, from Biden, from the Never Trumpers, who, again, wasn't going to vote for Trump anyways. So, again, I in most scenarios here, I see this hurting Joe Biden more than it hurts Trump, okay? And that is for multiple reasons, mainly having to do with the fact that Biden is doing so bad that, again, he doesn't have a real base, okay? And the Kennedy name is very strong in the Democrat Party. Right now, RFK is at like 15%. If he can even get half of that, right, 7% of Democrat voters to peel off from Joe Biden is over, right? The polls are already showing in a head-to-head matchup with just Trump and Biden that, Trump is winning, okay, in a lot of polls now that the election, if it was held today, then Trump will win the popular vote, which is unheard of for a Republican. You throw RFK in the mix, he takes away 7% of the Democrat votes from Biden. It's over. Do you really think that RFK is going to take away 7% of the votes from Trump? Does anybody believe that? Now, again, we got to see how it plays out at the state level in the Electoral College. Again, that's a wild card. That's why it makes it super hard to predict. But regardless, I just think that there's a small possibility that, yes, it can hurt Trump more than it hurts Biden. I think that the possibility is there. I can definitely understand the argument for it in regards to, well, maybe a lot of RFK's base is more Republican leaning, okay? But I really just don't see people choosing RFK over Trump if you are a Trump person, if you are going to vote for Trump, if you know you're going to vote for Trump. I don't see those people, or even the conservative base, in significant numbers peeling off to RFK the way I see Democrats, who, again, the Kennedy name has been strong in that party for a long time, peeling off and voting for RFK. And you also can't forget that Biden may face other independent challenges, like, for example, say Cornel West or maybe a Marianne Williamson. He's going to face more challenges from the left, possibly, okay? And if, again, long as Trump doesn't face any challenges from the right, I think Trump will be fine, okay? But Biden could possibly face more challenges from the left. Again, you have those anti-establishment Jimmy Dore type progressives that don't want to vote for Biden anymore, right? They don't want to vote for Democrats. They're going to vote for people like JFK, okay? And that's a lot of people, right? That's a key Democrat voting block that JFK or RFK could possibly take, right? It's likely that he will take those people. And again, I think one way for you to know who this hurts the most is how the media reacts to this, right? The mainstream liberal media all of a sudden starts covering RFK more. That means that it's probably more likely that he hurts Trump, because now they want to expose viewers to RFK. Before, they don't want to expose viewers to RFK because more exposure to RFK hurts Joe Biden, right? And so they don't want to cover RFK at all. But if all of a sudden they start covering RFK, well, the reason why is because they know that, okay, well, he's going to hurt Trump. And I think is if the media ignores RFK and they continue to ignore RFK, then you know that he's hurting Biden the most, right? You know that he's hurting Biden the most just based off kind of how they react to it. My gut feeling is that they're not going to all of a sudden start covering RFK more. They're going to continue to ignore him because most likely, in most scenarios, in my opinion, I think he hurts Biden more than he hurts Trump. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.